Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Ethereum is still playing out this pattern, and we are still in the build-up phase for this possible short squeeze, all while we've seen a perfect bounce from this exact Fibonacci level. I'll be covering all of that and more in this video, so definitely stick around to the end so that you don't miss out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, you might as well leave a like down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these future updates that I post every single day. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. It's right here on the Ethereum $2 chart on the daily time frame, and I've simply drawn the Fibonacci retracement tool from the July low up to the all-time high, and that places the most important Fibonacci level, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci level, at around 2.9k, actually just above 2.9k, and that's basically exactly where we've seen a bounce so far for Ethereum, which is obviously great to see for the bulls. And the 61.8% Fibonacci level to the 65% level is known as the golden pocket, and that goes from 2.9k to around 2.8k. So even if Ethereum comes back down a little bit lower, as long as we're still holding above around 2.8k, which is close to that September low, then honestly we're still looking all right here on the larger timeframes like the daily charts. And for any of the beginners out there, the reason why the 61.8% Fibonacci level is the most important Fibonacci level is because that's the Fibonacci level out of all of these levels that we most commonly see the price turn around at. And so a possible reversal back to the upside from the golden pocket, which we already saw a bounce from, could be a likely scenario, and that is also backed up by the Ethereum RSI on the daily time frame, because of course what I have been letting you know about over the past few days on the channel is the fact that the Ethereum RSI on the daily time frame has entered into oversold territories for the first time in nearly 2 years. The last time this happened was back in the March 2020 crash, and we did not stay in those oversold levels for very long, as in only for a few days and around a week at max. And then I don't know if you could see this, but the moment the RSI came back into the purple range back then, so out of oversold territories, at that stage, that was when the Ethereum price was getting ready for its recovery back to the upside, a reversal back to the upside. And right now, that is what we're seeing at the moment in the daily RSI for Ethereum. We've already entered into oversold territories, and we are currently entering back into this purple range, so out of oversold territories. And obviously, I do not expect Ethereum to have the exact same gain as what we saw after that March 2020 crash all the way up until recent. But with that being said, anytime the RSI is oversold, especially on the larger timeframes, that usually provides a pretty good buying opportunity, especially for those that are holding for the longer term like myself. It's important to mention that that is not financial advice. I'm just telling you my personal Ethereum strategy, which is simply to dollar cost average into Ethereum right now and hold that Ethereum for the longer term, as in at least for the next few months. And now zooming into the 4-hour time frame for Ethereum, we've still got this bullish divergence here, which basically means the bears are losing momentum, at least in the shorter term. So if you're talking about the next few days or so, I would be expecting at least some sort of sideways consolidation or perhaps a slight bounce back to the upside, because those are simply the most common outcomes for a bullish divergence like this. And just before we take a look at some other important Ethereum charts, I'll first just quickly give you an update on the Ethereum estimated leverage ratio, which is right now sitting at record highs. We are yet to see the squeeze. The subscribers on this channel that have watched some of my other videos would already know what I'm talking about, but for any new viewers out there, what I mean by a squeeze is basically squeezing out all of this leverage from the market, which is what will happen eventually. We see this happen time and time again in the markets because, of course, leverage is basically borrowed money, but quite often when we see a massive spike in the leverage, all of that borrowed money, all of that leverage that has built up, is usually forcefully paid back to the exchanges in the form of a liquidation event, like a long squeeze or a short squeeze. And usually when the price action and the estimated leverage ratio trend to the upside together, that leads us towards a long squeeze, like what we saw in the beginning of the September correction that crashed the price of Ethereum. But then when these two lines are diverging away from each other, so basically when we see the leverage go to the upside while the price goes to the downside, like what we saw in July, that normally leads us towards a short squeeze. And right now we are seeing exactly that. Over the past month or so, obviously we've seen the price go to the downside for Ethereum, but during that same time period, we've seen the estimated leverage ratio shoot to the upside, similar to what we saw back in July, which is still pointing towards a possible short squeeze. Of course, nothing in these markets is guaranteed, but with that being said, usually the bigger the spike in the leverage, the bigger the squeeze will be. And you can see how massive that gain was at the end of July leading into August. So having the estimated leverage ratio all the way up here at record highs might give us a glimpse at what could come into play over the next 1 to 2 months or so. And just quickly checking out the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart here on the daily time frame, right now we have broken below this important level of support, which was sitting at around 0.076 Bitcoin per Ethereum. And back when we were breaking below that important level, I mentioned that the next most important level of support to the downside is this low just here, coming in at around 0.07 Bitcoin per Ethereum. And the reason behind that was because of two reasons. First of all, we have already found support there with that bounce. And second of all, if you bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from this low at around 0.06 Bitcoin per Ethereum approximately up to the recent high, we have the golden pocket coming in at that same level of support that I just mentioned at around 0.07 Bitcoin per Ethereum. But one other level of support that I did mention was the 50% level just here, coming in at around 0.074 Bitcoin per Ethereum, and we have been finding some short-term support along that level. And also, if you're looking in the daily RSI for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, right now we are getting close to oversold territories, but we're not there just yet. But if you look at some of these previous times where the price of Ethereum bottomed out against Bitcoin, and if you're looking at the RSI during those same time periods, we were getting close to oversold territories, but we weren't there just yet. But we actually did not make it all the way down towards oversold territories, which means if we see the same thing repeat in the daily RSI for Ethereum versus Bitcoin as what we saw all of these other times so far, then we could even see a bounce earlier than that golden pocket, for example, at that 50% level that I just mentioned earlier. And for the complete beginners out there, if Ethereum sees a bounce on this chart and heads to the upside, that basically means that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. And then obviously, if we drop further to the downside, that just means Ethereum is underperforming against Bitcoin. And another important chart to take a look at for Ethereum and pretty much every other altcoin out there as well is the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame. Because of course, if the Bitcoin dominance is going to the upside, that means Bitcoin is taking market share away from the altcoins. So the altcoins on average are doing worse than Bitcoin. But if the Bitcoin dominance is dropping to the downside, that means Bitcoin is losing market share to the altcoins, which means during those time periods, the altcoins on average are doing better than Bitcoin. And over the past 1 week, approximately, we have seen a bounce in the Bitcoin dominance, meaning that most altcoins have been doing worse than Bitcoin. But just drawing out another possible level of resistance here in the Bitcoin dominance that we are currently getting rejected at, this level of resistance is coming in close to 41% dominance for Bitcoin. And so obviously, if we see a rejection from that level, that is good for the altcoins. But if you're looking for a major altcoin season right now, that's really not going to happen until we break below these lows just here, which are coming in close to 39% dominance. And if you want to get extra crypto updates throughout the day, even on some of the altcoins that I'm looking at, and if you want to get early access to some of the content that I include in these videos, definitely make sure you follow me over on my Twitter. And the link to my Twitter is in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. And of course, it is all completely for free. If you made it this far in the video, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you do not miss out on any of these future updates that I post every single day. And before you click off, you might as well check out one of these uploads if you haven't already. I've got a full trading tutorial video showing you how I place trades over on Bybit, and I've got a passive income video showing you how I earn passive income every day on my crypto holdings. But anyway, that is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.